to the old past life witch hunt prosecutors of moi. Look at me, I have reincarnated, and look at me, I am doing a YouTube video on a lunar eclipse in Pisces with the black cat in hand. Na, 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 na. You can't break me. She gone cuckoo, didn't she? Alright, continue. Hi guys, today we are talking about a full moon eclipse in Pisces, and it will be happening on the 8th of September, Sydney time. For everyone else, it's the 7th of September, depending on where in the world you are. And yes, this is the final act of Pisces. Why? Because we do have Saturn and Neptune as the key players in this eclipse, because yeah, they have retrograded back into Pisces. Oh my god. We had a little bit of a preview of Saturn and Neptune in Aries for the first time in a while. And they at the time of this eclipse will be retrograding back. They will be back in Pisces, back to the old games of Pisces. Consider this being a final rinse cycle, because the Pisces, end of Pisces, is the end of the end, and the beginning of Aries is the beginning of new beginning. Sounds like a bubble gum for your brain. However, yeah, perhaps this is the whole point of this eclipse, to rinse something before the new story starts. On the 8th of September 2025, we enter lunar eclipse in Pisces. It will be the full moon, flanked by ghosts, dreams, and unfinished business. Saturn has just re-entered Pisces on the 2nd of September in its retrograde motion, and Neptune will sneak into Pisces for its final seance on the 23rd of October. These two have been brushing shoulders on the end of the zodiac, dancing between endings, new beginnings, rebirths, renovations, redefinitions. Consider this being the last Pisces clearing before we rev the engines next year. A metaphor of this eclipse, I mean, take it or leave it, okay? Think of it like this. A haunted house with a haunting history. Perhaps something happened in the house, crime scene, beyond imagination. Horrific story. And you bleach the floor. You redecorate. But the air still remembers. Yes, some places are too stained to stay. So we demolish. We let grass grow over the rubble. The past is transformed, yet it's still there. And the eclipse, this eclipse in particular, is that moment of decision, of pondering. Do you cleanse? Do you redecorate? Or do you just walk away and leave it all behind and go build something brand new? The eclipse window is opening on the 7th or the 8th of September, depending on where you are in the world. And it starts with the full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse in Pisces. And then the next one will be in a couple of weeks later, on the 21st of September, as the new moon solar eclipse. We are talking about particularly this full moon eclipse, the lunar eclipse, and how it's going to be affecting all the 12 signs. But before that, I would like to brush slightly over the signatures. I have mentioned Saturn and Neptune already, and I gave you the metaphor of the haunted house, the crime scene, just because I've been doing some research, and that kind of stood out to me, that demolishing factor, the factor that, no, this is too much, this is too much, let's scrape it and let it be history. Because it is at the end, Exactly, it will be happening at the 18 degrees of Pisces. The moon will be at the 15 degrees and opposite the sun at the 15 degrees, and the north and the south node are at the 18 degrees. So the north node is at the 18 degrees of Pisces, and the south node where the sun is at the 18 degrees of Virgo. Maybe the cleaning part is also like that very Virgo, you know, and the demolition part. Virgo will try to bleach this. She will try to bleach it. But Pisces will be like, hey, maybe we just let the grass grow over this altogether. Let it be, let the worms and butterflies and whatever not take care of it. I've changed a little bit the camera, so maybe my hands are just like crazy big now. Alrighty. We are in between the worlds. Yes, you bleach. Yes, you redecorate. But the air still remembers. The timeline still exists. And that world between the worlds, between Pisces and Aries, there's a whole world right there. And this eclipse window will be that world between the worlds, between the promised land, Pisces, and the muscle that actually goes on the land and starts planting seeds, starts killing snakes or shushing them away and like establishing the camp. As it is a retrograde, right? The retrograde of Saturn and Pisces, between the concrete and the promised, between the illusion and the fact, between the beginning and the end of the beginning. Just give yourself grace in missteps. Let's say you have been building something from like to 20, all of 2025, there has been something happening, right? For everyone will be different. And this eclipse is that reflection of the past, and the air remembers. Yes, you have changed the decorations, but the history, what does it tell you? Listen with your sixth sense, superconsciousness, Pisces, Virgo, attention to detail. It will be interesting. It will be interesting. I am curious to hear your stories. Please share them in the comments. September 8th to September 21st is like that threshold between the worlds, between the portals, the higher dimension imagination to the lower vibrational fact and matter, mind over matter, matter over the mind. And then these two camps are not separate, they are together, they're merged. They merged like the two stars to create a new star. I am doing the wishy-washy beat now because we are dealing with Pisces. I love Pisces energy only after I have been really deprived from it. When it's too much Pisces energy, you don't know what it is anymore. But when we have been deprived from that Pisces energy, and when it finally comes, it's like in the middle of the desert we have rain, and it feels like God right there is answering our prayer. This eclipse, it will come like that rain, because the ruler of Pisces, Neptune, has already been in Aries. After being in Pisces for so long, it just left Pisces. Now it's back here in Pisces again, and we have tasted the difference. It has been in Pisces for 14 years, only entered Aries in 2025, like this year. And at the time of the eclipse, it is still in Aries, but it's heading towards Pisces. It will be entering Pisces on the 23rd of October. But next eclipse season, in February and March next year, we will not have any Piscean energy. The ruler of Pisces will be in Aries, And same for Saturn. It's just dipping its final, like it's saying goodbye. And it's like that house with the history. It can be closure. It can be unresolved mystery. It can be, let's get the hell out of here. Or it can be, wow, what a lesson. What a lesson to learn. Do you have hope that whatever you bring to this house will change its history? You can give it a second chance. Or there's no more hope left. You demolish it and you let the grass grow. This Pisces lunar eclipse is flanked by double sextile. Ooh. I'll try again. It's flanked by Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini. Interestingly, they will be trining each other. Pluto and Uranus will be trining each other from the air signs. 1 degree of Aquarius for Pluto, 1 degree of Gemini for Uranus. And both of these planets are sextiling Saturn and Neptune, and loosely sextiling the moon in Pisces, which is new. It's new. So if you think like, oh yeah, it will be like revisiting the chapter, in a way it will be revisiting the chapter, but with new set of data, with new information, with the new consciousness and unexpected, unforeseen set of circumstances that will make you see the other side of the history, see hidden mystery in that in-between place. You will see the truth expressed in new way and understand that, wow, the truth part is actually a flexible concept here. The transformation as the goal of all of this whole eclipse is coming from the most unexpected places, surprises, data sets, intels, downloads, you name it. It could be even just a road sign that you pass by at the time you're thinking about that history, at the time you are imagining things, and that will be considered a transformative signature for you. The suddenness, Uranus, of this knowledge, the sudden cult classic that just clicks and works and makes you think and makes you revise and hopefully understand this matter at the deeper level. You might be able just to see absolutely everything all at once. What the hell are you going to do with this all? How are you going to manage? Jupiter will be trining this eclipse, will be trining the moon from Cancer. Moon will be in Pisces, right? And then it is eclipsed. And it will be a shift, a new direction in re-evaluation of all the Cancerian themes. Motherhood, fatherhood, family, home, comfort, children, belonging. All of it is shifting, and it's tied up to the evaluation. What is truly needed? What is truly yours? Where do you belong? And I actually want to say that it's related to a new sense of comfort, a new sense of belonging. Like the soggy couch is like bended and sogged, and you're like, I feel like it's just a replica of my bum or whatever. But now I am happy to change it to something a bit newer, better technology, even though, yeah, I don't want to got really attached, emotionally attached to this couch, to this hills and valleys where I sit on, and it fits perfectly. You get a new couch, like eclipses, they work for up to 6 months further in, and you getting that new place to sit on, and you are creating new experience from it and getting used to it. That didn't. I'm sorry. That's how I see it. Like metaphors again, hey? At the time of this eclipse, Venus is in Leo, quincunxing the Saturn and Neptune and North Node and the Moon, side-eyeing with the ego adjustment. The ego wounds are flagged. Is this too much pride? Is this not enough pride? Is this too much confidence or not enough? All of these things will be coming to the forefront to be looked at critically and with a with a scoop of imagination, I would say it like that. Yeah, it is time to keep only what is needed. The ego is there to protect you, so use it as a tool, but keep it in check, because it's one of the first things that gets haywire and is hijacked. And don't make it your weakest link. Make it your strongest asset without it overpowering the true crystal of your heart. And last but not least, during this eclipse, Mercury will be conjuncting. It will be like nearby the Sun and the South Node in Virgo. Conversations matter. Say what you mean. No more double meanings, hiding behind metaphors, dancing around the subject. If the truth is asking for it, you have to speak your mind and make it constructive. At the time of this eclipse, Mars will be in Libra, in loose opposition to Chiron in Aries. Chiron has been in Aries for years. That raw search for identity, lack of assertion. And Mars is not in the great place in Libra. So the diplomacy part is like a little exam during this eclipse, and also the influenced months, I would say 6 months plus minus. You would have to take your emotions out of it in order to create merciful, inclusive understanding. And your relationship is in your hands. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to play the victim, or are you going to express fearlessly what you want to do? Be vulnerable in your true reasons and options. Give options to yourself and to the other party. They deserve it just like you do. Yeah, all in all, this eclipse is not that cute. That's why the way maybe I'm talking today is quite abrupt and blunt. But it is a holy experience, and sometimes we do need to burn the fire, right? We cannot just be love and light all the time. We also have to be calling for justice, facing justice. Yeah, that one. Calling for justice is one thing, but facing justice, ooh, that's a whole different thing. And yeah, letting others face justice, it's even harder. Make it count and use your imagination, because it is Pisces. Saturn is in Pisces, I think until, when is it going out of Pisces? Yeah, it will be in Pisces until the 15th of February 2026, and Neptune will be leaving Pisces on the 26th of January 2026. So this piece of timeline will be our mysterious, mystical seance, when the truth will be uncovered through questions, answers, theories, practice, and meaning and consciousness. All the big words, but what do they really mean? What do they really mean for you? Let's unpack what this lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 8th of September will mean for each of the 12 signs. My name is Alla Tormey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Love you. And yes, you make my day. Thank you so much. We'll chat to you in the sun signs and rising signs. Aries lunar eclipse is happening in your 12th house with the sun in the 6th house. Surrendering to it or not? Let's discuss the pros of this transit. Be prepared for a deep psychic hygiene. You are clearing out a lot of baggage and make it count. Use this time to meditate, to relax, navigate the hidden places in your psyche. Look at your patterns, look at your fears, and be fearless. This is maybe the invitation for you to just look at things and see them and not being fazed by them anymore. And the emotion that comes from this assessment, from this curiosity, is that golden nugget for you. Breakthroughs in healing, especially if you had any psychosomatic issues, they are coming to an end. Psychic attacks, spiritual attacks on you, you are giving them a big bash, putting stronger protection and becoming the spiritual warrior. That initiation process that you went through this year is getting an upgrade with new technologies, with new techniques, unexpected turns. Yes, because Pluto and Uranus are involved. Expect the unexpected. My main advice for you, work on fear. Say no to fear, look it in the eye, and be bigger, better, and stronger. The solitude, if let's say you have this particular lifestyle, or you're very busy, you're always around people, or maybe there's not enough people, you feel very isolated, it will hit differently. It will be like a soothing balm, and you will find that it is actually a very holy experience to be alone in your bathtub or on a balcony under the stars just by yourself. You are not alone, even when you are. It's beautiful feeling of wholeness. I love this pro for you. Of course, not to mention you're becoming much more psychic. There's a lot of just pondering and learning psychic abilities, training that muscle, working with your pineal gland and crafting your consciousness ability, insights that you didn't see coming. And on the good side, it could be the end of a karmic cycle, like a big, huge karmic cycle, and it's happening very quietly, very potent. Some things are not needed to be said. Actually, in your case, out of all the signs, you don't really need to say it anymore, and it's over, and you know it is, and the other person know it is. Leave it gracefully floating in the wind. It can be about people, habits, places, artworks, music, psychic connections, attachment, things like that, coming to an end. Even addiction, whatever you thought was holding you back is gone. And let's talk about the cons. With the cons, it's all the things I've mentioned, the pros, but with a negative connotation. For example, burnout and collapse. If you have been running on fumes, this eclipse will hint on that. This eclipse might floor you into rest mode instead of being walked out of the office forcefully. Just go for a walk yourself. Pay attention to what your body whispers. Some signals can come off as quite unclear or shady or hard to decipher. Listen to your body and you can't go wrong this eclipse. Build a bridge between your soul and your schedule, and let the drama pass you by. Venus is quincunxing this this eclipse. So no one will, it will be the background noise, and what's the point? What else? Workaholic tendencies can surface because you're trying to patch up something in your psyche. Oh no, this is it. I'm switching off. It's a lunar eclipse in Pisces. Let me just, unplug. You won't unplug because even when you are alone, you are in the world, right? You are still here. You are here. No matter what, you are everywhere at the same time. What's the point in that? So do not isolate yourself. Do not fabricate experience for yourself. It's more about trust and letting go and being imaginative, creative, and discerning. And yeah, beware of thinking that you are above it all. You're above your body needs, don't really need all of these things, becoming like anti-materialistic. Virgo, Sun, and they are reminding you that you are of this world and you are of this earth. You're still human. Remember that. And everyone else as well. Everyone else is processing things. It's the beauty of this eclipse that sometimes you just need to let the seasons go by without trying to be the weather master and artificially influencing things to fit your narrative. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your likes, comments, and thank you for subscribing to this channel. You're helping me a lot with those simple free things, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Take care, and next stop we are talking about the solar eclipse that is happening in Virgo on the 21st of September. I'll be making a video about that. Love you so much. Bye. Taurus and Taurus rising, we have this eclipse falling in your 11th house with the sun in Virgo in your 5th house. So what does it mean for you? The pros of the transit, if you flow with it, a big relationship network clear out, scooping fresh the people, the crew. You will be looking at them anew and being like, what do you bring to the table, honey bunny? The expiration dates. You will be rolling to see which person, it sounds bad, but metaphor. The not people, but alliances. How many of them have expired? Are they feeding you the nutrients or not? Are you feeling heard by them? If dynamic is stale, what is the purpose of it? What is the higher vision of it? Do you give it grace or do you burn the bridge? There is a creative surge of energy with the sun in the 5th. Your art, your music are taking on a new spin. You remix your old tracks and giving them a limelight, finally thinking the most idealistic thoughts about that. About your creativity, your voice, and your expression. Your joy is definitely prioritized this eclipse season. Again, you will be redefining success. What does it mean to be you in this big wild world? What does it mean to create in all this mess? You will have a new set of metrics by which you will be defining the return of investments, the success that will be like more on your terms this time. And your vision is to make it as authentic and as you as possible. What a beautiful opportunity. In group settings, you are focusing on emotional honesty, something that you will wake up one day and realize, hey, this person is no longer in my life, but what have I done to nurture this connection? Nothing. So do you really want to blame them for leaving or for not being there for you when you were the one who didn't show up to this connection? That's where you will be putting on critical analysis on what role your own self, your own ego playing in all of this, rather than just making it all about them. And of course, your magnetism is increasing, shining bright. People maybe not fully understand you at first, but they're still attracted to you for the most mysterious reasons. And you also see that and think, why do I see these new people in my circle? And it's still a mystery, but it will unfold eventually as the season continues and more information will come to the surface. You will be surprised at some things that transpire. The cons of the transit. Again, same as the pros, but with the with the projection, right? With the inversion. Disappointment in friends, disappointment in groups, in networks, in your goals. Like, did I do enough? Did they do enough? Are we doing enough? What are we doing? Kind of thing. Your self-expression might feel risky or exposed, can question your voice, your tone, your stamina when it comes to project management, and asking yourself, am I actually enough for this venture? Am I enough for this dream of mine? What is being stripped back, and is it coming back, or is it going forever? There will be a lot of confidence tests and integrity tests for you, and the veil will lift who is truly here for you and who is just here. For what reason? If you are hiding in all of that, it will feel daunting. It's much better for you to address and speak up rather than hide and see what comes, like just playing that magnet, that stale magnet in the corner, and see what comes to you. Yes, you are magnetic, but you're not like, you're not a black hole that just will kind of, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the difference. Project can dissolve, dream can dissolve, can be the whole set of projects, can be a whole set of dreams. Again, look at it critically, open your imagination. What if not? Allow space, allow time, allow grace. Maybe some self-sabotage in that department as well, with the comparisons. Are you going into a spiral, comparing yourself now to the older version of yourself? Like, oh, look at me 20 years before, look at my skin. Well, duh, gravity is still here, it's not going anywhere, and then we all get soggy and ugly and old, but what stays is your heart, your voice, your tone. Are you thinking material versus spiritual? Are you thinking eternal versus external? Internal, eternal, external? Can be a lot. It can be a lot, and it can be too much. So just feel the emotion and stay with it, and it will pass. And once it passes, you see how strong you actually are, and you are still here, and you are still singing, talking, playing. And those people who are really there for you, take care of them. And even if you have, let's say, outgrown this crew or this project or this dream, and you could be looking back at it and thinking, oh, I wish, it was still here. Why is it gone? Grieving process a little bit. But in the end of the day, this eclipse clears the audience so that the spotlight can come back to you. The less people, the more oxygen, as they say. Stop trying to be like this palatable version of yourself for the group, for the sake of it, and be yourself, and the collective will recalibrate to your frequency, to your truth, to your art, to your joy, to your heart. I'm wishing you a beautiful eclipse, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, and subscribing. Helps a lot. And I love you, Taurus. Bye. Gemini and Gemini risings. The lunar eclipse is happening in your 10th house with the sun in the 4th. The career clarity is coming if you go with the energy of this eclipse and if you flow with it, as it is Pisces. Pros of this wonderful celestial event for you. The image that you have been carefully curating is now dissolving in order to transform into the legacy that would be truer, truer. More truth coming to your public image, so you are reaping the karmic endings, so to say, when it comes to your career and your legacy in the world at large. What goals you no longer resonate with, they will be dissolving and creating space for something new that will hit harder, better, and will take you home. You are reclaiming your true legacy, not what you are supposed to do, but what you actually want to do and why you are here on this planet. This is all making sense now through a concept of collapse. So dissolving, recreating, redoing, looking at it again with a new set of variables. There will be a lot of public shedding, outdated roles, outdated titles, outdated projects. All of this goes to the sideline. You don't resonate with it anymore, perhaps. Even if it is good, it's like an Eight of Cups energy. Let go of these expectations. You're writing a new mythos. You're writing a new legacy. Allow space for this process. Really look at your schedule and give space for those in-between moments. There will be a greater integration of your personal and public and professional life. You are planning things better. You are looking at things from the bird's eye view and giving everything a good critical thought before you initiate. Because you will have the time and space for reflecting on that inner truth. Why are you doing what you're doing in your career? You will be reprioritizing when it comes to home, family, and your public image, public work. You might feel there is a setback, but it is actually an opportunity to restructure these two areas of your life so they work in tandem, they work better together. It's not you are sacrificing one for the other in order to make ends meet. It's more like an integrated, wholesome system now where you give it enough respect on both sides. Beautiful. If you resist the energies of this transit, there might be some cons that are coming your way, so please make sure you know these too, so you understand how to pivot in case of chaotic stuff happening. There can be professional disillusionments. Some projects and roles, titles can feel hollow or not enough or too much or not specific enough or too vague or just not fitting you anymore. So you will have to be looking at that with a more critical lens and also using the imagination, right? It's the polarity between Virgo and Pisces, where what is that structure that you give to your career, to your work? And how is it influencing how you feel on the inside? Perhaps you have worked really hard to be seen a certain way, and now it's time to let go of that persona, which can feel intimidating and maybe even unfair. Trust the shape-shifting energy of Pisces. Trust the dissolve. You will be surprised. You will be surprised. Be mindful of overgiving, spiritual fatigue, fear of being seen. There can be an emotional fallout when it comes to your career, because now it's very raw and exposed and it feels uncomfortable. It's asking you for that stretch, and the stretch can be painful. The key, like with any stretching, is again breath work and time. Private life sabotage can also happen, but it's only if you really focus just on your work and nothing else matters. You sweeping things under the rug in all the other areas of your life, your identity, your relationships, your home, and it's all about the career. Zoning in on it to the point where you don't see anything around you, and how is that productive? If you've tied your worth to success, watch out for identity crisis. You cannot put all the eggs in one basket, and that's that. Think outside the box and weigh in on all the options. Thank you so much for your time here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to make this channel thrive. And I can't wait to see you in the next video, Gemini. Love you so much. Bye. Cancer and Cancer rising, this lunar eclipse in Pisces is landing in your 9th house with the sun in the 3rd. How exciting. Pros of the transit, if you surrender to this energy, are amazing. Let's have a look at that. Spiritual upgrade. Make sure you write things down, get your notebook ready, flashes of insight, meanings, downloads. You will be getting this information as if straight from the source. Well, I urge you to note everything down, because you will be looking back at it in 6 months' time and thinking, wow, this was the prototype of my expansion in life altogether. Jupiter is in your sign, it's in Cancer, and it's just making a wonderful aspect to the moon and the North Node in Pisces. So use this opportunity to drive your life karmically forward and evolutionary on the right trajectory, okay? Just, go for it and be brave. You are letting go of inherited beliefs, spiritual, emotional, all the dogmas, all the things that have finished its cycle. It will be so obvious. Your role in this is to open your mind and to see it, acknowledge it, and critically discern what is that you are keeping and what you are letting go of, and that will feel so fresh. You would love it. You can drop some things that you thought you're gonna stick with, educational or other mind pursuits. Could be a project, a goal, a mission. You can say that, hey, well, I think I bit more than I can chew, so I'll just leave the rest in peace here. And that would be totally okay. There's nothing to be ashamed of or beating yourself up about it. You will be refining your voice and your clarity with the sun in your 3rd house. There's a new way and a new influence that you are getting when you're communicating. You actually make sense to them, that they think about it in a deeper way. Watch for your social media outbursts. Are they making it constructive? And good news, there can be a teacher coming, a mentor that you craved for a long time, and they're finally here. Or if you already have one, your relationship with them becomes enigmatic and mysteriously amazing. And I'm not saying in the kind of close-knit sense, but more on the soul level. You really resonate with their personality, with the way they talk, or with what they say, or maybe their story, why they're saying what they're saying, why they're teaching what they're teaching, where their knowledge base is coming from. All of that is becoming an ocean of possibility for you to aspire to new heights and horizons. I really congratulate you on that. The cons of the transits, if you resist these energies, there can be a crisis of faith. You might be thinking or feeling like you don't know anything anymore. What's the point of all of this? Existential stuff. Could be feeling like this is just overwhelming or too much. I'm getting all these downloads, but what are they for? There's always a download, there's always a day. It kind of becomes a monotonous carousel of meaning where you don't highlight anything anymore. Everything becomes one big highlight and you're drowning in whatever the color of the highlight is. This can be healed through that sun in Virgo. Again, the mind, the hygiene of the mind, and the clarity on the next step. Not just like this vast, huge track that you are doing, but more like a next little step. What's the next step that you are here to do that's logically correct, right? And that will help you with that. There could be verbal overwhelm, just a mind chattering. Again, mindfulness practices, addressing nervous system issues if you have those. Less screen time, wake up fresh without the phone. Just keep the phone away. You will thank me for it later. It might not be just you. It could be other people's dogmas. I know it all. I know it better. You go on the news channel and there's just all this stuff there and you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with these people? And that affects you personally. That affects how you think, or that makes you run to conclusions. That's another corner of the transit. Don't be swayed by the noise. It's just the noise. What is the meaning that you have applied to the information that you get? And what information you actually allow in your field? There's another way to look at it at this eclipse. You'll be very good by the end of the season and the 6 months that follows after the eclipse, with just allowing information in your field. And you'll be like, no, this is not me. I don't like it. I don't vibe with it. My palette much cleaner. Just do not become an echo chamber person. Still in the world. It's still the 9th house versus the 3rd house. You are still in the big picture. Just do not lose the forest behind the trees, but trim the trees, okay? As I have mentioned, this can cause emotional overwhelm. Switch off the emotion, and that would be an opportunity for you to learn how to do that, which is great. Not necessarily even switch off, more like, seeing the forest behind the trees, pretty much. Just knowing that the emotion is not you. You leave the emotion, you feel the emotion. Emotion is also information, it's energy in motion. It's your chemical process, but in the end of the day, you are behind all of this, and you are the crystal heart. You are the heart behind the emotion. And last but not least, you could be saying too much or too little, or you might be a bad listener this eclipse season. Make sure you appreciate every single word and do not give too much weight to the words. Focus on the meaning and criticize that meaning. Debate about it. And you will find amazing, unexpected turns and pivots within yourself and your mind and how your consciousness works. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, Cancer. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. You're helping this channel so much. Let's thrive together, and I'll see you next video. Bye. Love you. Leo and Leo rising, you have Pisces Lunar Eclipse in your 8th house, and the Sun is in Virgo in your 7th house. Let's unpack this. Once you go with the transit's energies, there are many pros for you that you can reap the benefits from, so you have richer emotional life, which is amazing. Emotional release of old entanglements, karmic contracts, toxic relationships. How good is that? Maybe the idea of your self-worth is changing and you are kissing goodbye that version of yourself that was overgiving, oversharing, over-providing this safety, this spiritual grace, but at what cost? Now you see it for what it is, and you're here saying, well, it's time to resolve that. It can be about past lovers, debts, family stuff. It can be about money issues as well. You are cutting cords now to what has been weighing you down for years, Leo. You're finally pulling it all back into yourself. You're reclaiming your self-worth on all levels: spiritual, emotional, financial. The sun in the second house wants you to be rooted in what is yours that you're not willing to share. It's yours, it's for your survival. You are here holding what is truly yours and letting go what someone else imposes on you. Think of it like a reset. Again, new relationship to intimacy. You are looking at it with a more mature lens, with a more mature take. You're here for the truth, not for what feels right on the surface to your skin. It's more about the actual strings of your heart. You're not playing small here, and you want the other party involved to be on the same level, and that is up-leveling your self-worth. There is also a financial revolution, which is great. You are cutting the ties with those that no longer serve you and establishing new agreements that are here for a higher timeline, a higher purpose, and higher goal. You could also be receiving financial gain from unexpected sources, so peel your eyes open. The cons of the transit, if you resist this flowy energy, are holding on to the rotting connections, agreements, contracts that you know deep down are dying, and you still like Norman Bates hanging on to that. Ego death vibes, and not the cute kind. Allow the process to unfold without speeding it up or slowing it down and dwelling on it in a victim mode. Just let the currents take whatever they need and let them wash themselves away, pretty much. If you have been compromising your peace to keep the contract alive, there will be a power struggle, because now everyone is waking up, and so are you, and so are the others. The others are trying to get the most out of it, and you could be seeing it for what it is. Here, you have to open the communication channels and talk about it. Redefine the contract, redefine the agreement, redefine the status of yourself within this dynamic. Is it still working for you? If you are avoiding your tax returns, or just looking at money matters, looking at give and take, there could be financial pressures coming up, or just energetically something needs to be cleared up here to move forward in a much more relaxed manner. So you are here looking at everything in detail and seeing what is staying and what is going. And if you're not ready for intimacy or real closeness, that will also be very visible. You will be looking at everything from your perspective. There's an invitation here to create a positive dynamic out of a negative experience based on your self-worth, new sense of self, and what you actually value in a connection, relationship, yourself and the other person you're looking at. All in all, this eclipse is asking you, what are you worth, Leo? Interesting question. And yeah, let me know what you think about this breakdown in the comments. I'm actually very curious, as we're talking about the 8th house, baby. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It helps the channel thrive. Let's build this community together. And I look forward to see you in the next video, Leo. Love you. Bye. Virgo, this one is personal because you have the lunar eclipse in your 7th house with the sun in your 1st house. Where shall I start? This eclipse is mirroring you through others. Are you ready to see the reflection? If you're willing to let the mirror crack, these are the pros of the transit. Huge relationship insight. You finally seeing your role in the relationship and the person's role in the relationship. Let's say you are single, you are going through a transformation of self through getting insight into patterns, dynamics that are no longer serving you. You're letting them go, you're establishing new ones, you're naming everything as it is without sugarcoating, and it can be going to the gym and pumping that weight, and then the next morning it feels like you cannot walk, but once the recovery happens, your muscles are super strong. So it's kind of the same here between you and your relationships. You're giving it a little workout, on both ends, yeah? Kind of like a breakdown before the breakthrough. You're no longer sharing yourself or oversharing yourself to fit this fantasy of the other person. Let's say they want blondes and you're a brunette, and then you're like, I'm done doing foils in my hair for you. No. There is a great spotlight on your new identity with the sun in the first house. You're proclaiming yourself as who you are, not what other people expect of you or what they project on you. You're done with that. You are upgrading your standards. Yay! And not like in a snobby way, more like this is it, like this is my sacred trinity now, and take it or leave it. This is how the cookie crumbles, honey. And the other person is like, okay, and disappear in the fog. Or they actually show up and bring the goodies to the table. And you're like, thank you. I deserve it. Love it. If you avoid the flow of the energy, there are some cons potentially on the horizon. Make sure you note these down so you are prepared. Anyone wearing a mask will be exposed, including you. So there's a collapse in identity, not just for yourself, but for others too. Their faces are growing out of those masks and they're falling down. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with the real face? What are you going to do with the mask? Are you going to archive it or flush it down the toilet? And yeah, what about that person? Do you like their new sense of self in your life, or do they like your new sense of self in their life? A lot to ponder here. There can be a resurfacing of old emotional contracts. Are you resigning? Are you re-signing this lease? Maybe it's over. Maybe it's a new spin cycle. Look at it directly without sugarcoating, but with kindness. Okay, let's say all dynamics are falling away and you are even if you are in a relationship, you're not going to feel a bit alone because there's this adjustment period, or you are literally alone. Are you afraid of that? Are you afraid of this freedom? Are you clinging to the past to feel comfortable? Maybe you are trying to save the relationship, to fix the relationship. You're over-fixing yourself. You're over-healing yourself. You're compromising to the point of not recognizing yourself anymore. And let's say you have been romanticizing someone's potential. How does it feel now when you see things as they are? Or are you still lingering in the emotions, in the illusions? How's that charm, Prince Charming, going? Or maybe their feelers have dissolved now and you see the loss of that charm. How are you dealing with that? That eclipse in your axis, Virgo, I guess that was a little prototype of the realizations, okay, that coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That will help the channel a lot. And I look forward to see you in the next video, Virgo. You'll be fine. Nothing wrong with fillers. Just make sure that they're good quality, done in the right amounts, with a good professional, and not too often. And also make sure you're almost 40. Love you. Bye. Libra and Libra rising. We have lunar eclipse in Pisces in your 6th house with the sun in the 12th. If you stop sacrificing your sanity, these are the pros of this eclipse. You have radical clarity on what is draining your life. Work, routines, health patterns, everything now is under the microscope and you are ready to face the music. Detox, both physical, emotional, and spiritual. You deserve it, Libra. You can finally admit that keeping it all together like that is actually not good for your nervous system. You allow yourself the baby tantrum that you always wanted, and it will pay dividends. You are also ending your toxic productivity cycles. Maybe you're writing a novel in the middle of the night and it's turning into grotesque Kafka season. It's time to kiss that goodbye. This is the time for you to stop serving systems that are killing your spirit. Bring your spirit forward and let it shine. You'll be surprised at the jewels you'll find. You are here to help others without abandoning yourself. What a revelation, what a transformation. Give yourself a pat on the back for all the hard works you have done in your community, in your life, in your career, in your everyday human existence. Now it's time to levitate above it all in blissful accomplishment. And it could be even the littlest things. It could be just a berry you pick in your garden and you think, wow, just one little berry, but I grew it and it's mine, and you taste it and it feels divine. And this is the next idea for your next beautiful spiritual journey, or maybe for your new book. Your intuition and your body are teaming up. You are a somatic guru. People are lining up to hear how you do it all and still look so marvelous. The cons of the transit: if you ignore the energies. If you have been ignoring yourself, your intuition, or your body, they can be flare-ups, so make sure you tick the boxes, Virgo style, about how you go about things every day. Micromanage things to the point where you know the sequence of events that led you here, and that's how you're gonna uprise in this area. Let's say you have a misalignment in your soul versus what you do every day in life. That can be a very itchy aspect. You can gravitate towards maybe more materialistic things, or the other way around. Find the balance. You are Libra. Just keep it balanced. You cannot go wrong. This will remove the mental fog and fatigue that can come as a con for this eclipse. Another one is addictive traits could be coming back, and it's time to look at them again. Not like in a shameful way, but more in a logical way, and see exactly what the triggers are and give yourself options on soothing yourself while those triggers happen. And if, let's say, there's nothing going on, there's like smooth sailing, just out of the blue, like you don't even know why, but you do feel this escapist tendency rising up, and this is just your opportunity to study it, look at it, feel it, and hopefully dissolve it. Are you saying yes when you really feel like it's more of a no, but it's like a soft no that people think it's a yes, and then you feel the pressure? So people pleasing again can happen. Make sure you are collecting the evidence, for both parties, for yourself and for others. Are you giving yourself enough? Are you giving them too much? What is the dynamic here? Beautiful way to explore this. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate your likes, comments, and please subscribe to the channel. It will help the channel grow so more people can benefit from this wisdom. I love you so much, Libra, and can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. The lunar eclipse in Pisces is happening in your 5th house with the sun in your 11th house. If you let your heart go rogue and then allow the flow of this amazing energy, these are the pros for you. Old artistic blocks of being seen are finally resolved, dissolved, and let go of. Yes. Trailblazing towards your truth to the highest dimension possible. Accepting all the layers of your being. A true creative rebirth. You no longer need to feel like you need to prove yourself, to be loved. There is this sense of achievement when it comes to your assertion, to your status in the creativity of this universe. You like becoming like a galactic center, so to say. There's no more performative love for the sake of love or going through the motions kind of thing. You might just as well be motionless if it doesn't resonate. And that's okay. And you feel confident in that. Amazing. You're becoming magnetic. Your raw energy is lethal. It's making heads turn. The authenticity that you ooze is radiating, and it's creating new stories. Inspiration. You are like an influencer in the best possible way, not in this like beige leggings way, but in the cult classic way, which is the it. You are the it girl or the it boy, and take it or leave it, and everyone is like, I'm gonna take it. It's up to you if you will allow that. The filters are over, and you are happy to just be yourself. What a release. I love it. This eclipse is highlighting what joy really means to you, healing your inner child. If you are a parent, you also look at your relationship with your children in a way that is regenerating your inner child. What are the projections you giving like onto your children? Or are you playing old stories with your children? Let's say, like, if one of your parents was a screamer, are you a screamer now? And perhaps you saw it for what it is and decided to, address that in a kind way, in a Piscean way. You have this new sense of collective responsibility. You put your authentic voice for the good of all. You are sharing the collective, creative juice maker and drinking from this chalice of potential for yourself, for the groups, for the higher collective. You have this new sense of aligned contribution that is fulfilling, that is making sense finally, because you have unleashed that inner rawness, that vulnerable, majestic place within you, and let it rise to the surface to clear out everything that was stopping it from emerging. If it comes that you can press this, there will be some overflow, of course, because that's tidal energy. These are the cons of this eclipse if you're not working with the energies in a conscious way. Old wounds in a romantic sense, or like unresolved projects that are creative projects, can rise to the surface and cause some drama. This can make your tender heart that just cracked open to close up again and be in a protective mode. So make sure you're on top of it. Fear of being irrelevant or too much or too intense or marginalized. The world is not ready for you. Maybe it's true. Maybe the world is not ready. The question is, are you? Are you here to show up for yourself, for what you believe in, and proclaim that place under the sun with all your wild ideas and urges from your tender childhood trauma? the heart of a child, the inner child that we all have to remember that we once had, right? Maybe we still have. What is the role of that heart in your life and how it affects your goals, dreams, and ambitions? This can cause creative confusion, and you're asking yourself, is there a place in the world for all your imaginations? Is there a gallery space for that art you're making? The question is, just make the art and the space will follow. Or the worst case scenario, that's metaphorically speaking, you have created this art, you put your heart on the sleeve, and the gallery boss says, well, we're sorry, you have to change this in order to proceed. And you say, you know what, how is that gonna help my muse? How is that gonna help my soul, my heart? So what, am I gonna become a people pleaser for you? Maybe just swap the gallery. Or maybe people please for a bit and see how that lands and where it takes you, your authenticity, and your place in the world. I guess there is also space to make mistakes. So don't beat yourself up if you bend backwards for a project that was never really yours. And that could mean that maybe it's time to let go of the dream. I'm being super risque here, going to the territory of what if, but truly, what if? What if it's time to move on and demolish this haunted house and create something new in a different area? Thank you so much, Scorpio. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. This is it. This is going to be the eclipse to remember, lunar eclipse in Pisces. Let me know how you go in the comments, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Love you. Bye. Sagittarius, lunar eclipse in Pisces is landing in your 4th house with the sun in the 10th. Again, home versus career. What is happening here? Let's break this down. If you honor the collapse that this eclipse entangles, here are the pros that you can benefit from. The family myth that was haunting the house is dissolving. Good news, the sands are shifting. Beautiful, taking with them the old lamps, couches, rugs, wounds. You will reconnect with what safety and comfort truly mean for you, and that will be a slow process. Allow yourself this time, drip like honey, and really get cozy in a new sense of comfort and belonging. This is beyond the performance, beyond the roles. It's just raw essence of where you put your head to rest, really, and maybe your heart as well. On more bright expression of the energy, there could be relocation and change in the home environment, physical move, or just an energetic move where you could be even changing like position of the furniture in the house, sleeping in a different position, in a different place, put different lighting, different colors, getting some crystal bowls and or singing bowls or new crystals, and just revamping the energetic landscape of your home environment. And maybe you find new ways to soothe yourself within the house setting. Career alignment from the ground up is on the horizon too, and it's quite a benefit because you will be building from the foundations to express in the public eye that truth, that rawness that was waiting to manifest. And the career will be that place where it actually manifests. All these upgrades that you have been experiencing internally, privately, are now being shared with the world. That is truly beautiful. These emotional purges are prerequisites of long-term freedom. Yeah, let me know how you're going with that in the comments, please, because I just would love to hear from you. Let it shake, cry it out, purge it out, and you will find so much grace and so much space for new developments, new life experiences, experiences and new histories to be written down as part of your family legacy, because you are the continuation of your family. What stories you going to be telling your grandkids about this period? If you are denying the energies, they can be potentially some cons, and I would like to name them so you are aware and prepared. There is a chance of emotional instability, mood swings, overwhelm, too much of everything happening at once. I would just say do the Virgo style and do one step at a time and focus on the things that you have control over instead of dwelling in the very murky waters of Pisces, all alone without any help, any support or direction. Let your work be like a saving grace, because you can actually break things down into tasks, subtasks, delegate, and that will give you a sense of maybe control and comfort in this unpredictable and tumultuous period. Let's say you're doing really well at home emotionally and in your career, but there is this one family member that brings in this baggage or unresolved issue, or just they are going through a process of healing their wounds or the family wounds. How are you going to go about that? Are you willing to extend your grace, or are you going to jump into the water with them and you guys both drop drop to the bottom of the barrel? So this is something that you have to be aware of. How is this whole family situation playing in your career? Are you feeling wobbly? Who is your support? Do you have a good place where you work that understands you as a person, not just as a role or title? Do they see a human being behind the tie? That would be an eye-opener for you as well. Again, on the opposite end of this, you can be going into workaholic mode, trying to escape from your inner turmoil within the work setting, overdoing projects. So think about it like this. If there's an inner turmoil, there's overdoing there. What you're doing with the overdoing is that you're not really moving forward in any direction, because that's just a distorted way of dealing with the situation. Allow time and space, because there will be an opportunity to extend the timeline and create like a rich emotional takeaway from it all, instead of jam-packing it with minutia and then like burning at both ends. Is this really your style, Sag? I don't think so. There can be a collapse of established systems, established traditions that you were hiding behind to feel safe. Now it's all stripped down and it can feel quite exposed. I know that you are an adventurous spirit and you can fearlessly tackle this, but in case that, let's say, you are a bit of like on the more conservative side, they can stir some ego death process there. Your attachment to safety. What does safety really mean for you? And look who is here. Hi, Heida. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing, and love you so much, Sag. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye. Capricorn and Capricorn rising. We have a lunar eclipse in Pisces in your 3rd house, with the sun in your 9th house. So what happens when you go with the flow with these energies? These are some pros that you can benefit from. Noise reduction therapy, and you are the ace of that. Old loops in your mind get untangled. Many things start to make sense so much and so well. It's like crystal clear clarity, while everyone else is drowning in why me and why them and all those things. You're the one who has all the answers. I want to know. You speak straight and narrow, blunt, and to the point. It is a pro of the transit because you have space to think about things, and once you have saturated the meaning behind it, now you can express it in a way that actually lands and creates meaning for the party that receives the message. Yes, it's a win-win here because you feel that your load is lighter from speaking your truth, and the other person is actually constructively penetrating the message, or the message penetrates them in a constructive way, in a graceful way. That's a win for everyone. There is a shift in how you speak, teach, and do social media marketing. You becoming creative, and you question the ideas before you initiate them, before you flow with the idea to the point where it becomes the logical outcome, the truth. It's not confusing anymore. You allow the design process to flow from the initial stages of chaos to the final stages of clean, seamless design that performs practically and also creates a beautiful emotional experience. I love that. You may be speaking less, and clarity does not always require over-explaining, a PowerPoint, a lecture. You can just say one little thing and it lands, and it lands really well. There is a possibility of travel, and also some spiritual knowledge is coming your way. Perhaps you are learning about art or about intuition, about psychic abilities, or it could be something that you just can like read this book, this novel, and learn something about life as you go, or there's a biography, or I don't know, just like a book that you read in front of a fireplace, and it takes you to the beautiful world that is enriching you, and that's how you can switch off your mind for a little bit. Beautiful. You are feeling drawn to new lands, metaphorically, spiritually, or physically. Enjoy. In case you decide, or it happens that you resist these energies, there can be some cons you have to be aware of, and it's mental fog. That's one that always comes when we're dealing with the 3rd and the 9th house. Noise versus signal, hygiene of the mind, the meaning, right? Allow time for meaning to emerge, because it can not necessarily lay on the surface. Again, think about the concept of the design process, like type it in Google and see how it goes. It's a big mess that slowly forms into one line and then finishes with a dot. So your journey, this eclipse, is from that massive, chaotic, multiple scribble into that line and then the dot where it stops. Where does it stop? Where does it start? That can create mental fog and overstimulation. Hence, I guess, stop scrolling and just let the silence take care of it all. Ground before responding to that triggering message, because you can say too much or too little. Ground and be merry. Another one could be you have just simply outgrown your local scene. Maybe it's time to explore new territories, because you might just feel bored and understimulated mentally. And this could be an opening of a new door, because, once the one door closes, a new door opens. Keep an eye on that. And yeah, just watch out for technical issues. Change your passwords, protect your online security, just clear the slate. I appreciate your watching, and thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I love you so much, Capricorn, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.
Bye.
Aquarius, lunar eclipse in your second house with the sun in the 8th house. My God. Okay, out of all the signs, I think you are here for a big surprise because you play a huge role in how this is going to pan out. For many signs, it's like trust, let go, Pisces. But with you, not so much. You are here stirring the wheel because Pluto's in your sign and it's sextiling this energy in Pisces, while Uranus is sextiling it on the other end from Gemini. And yeah, Pluto is trining Uranus in Gemini. It's a lot. You have Pluto in your sign. That's already a lot. And now we have this, even though pleasant and harmonious aspect, kind of configuration, still you don't know what's gonna happen. So how do you know where you're going? Let's break this down with the pros and cons. With the pros, I mean, if you're working with this energy of surprise, transformation, freedom, innovation, dissolving, letting history be history, but learning from it, right? So it doesn't repeat itself. How can it repeat itself in a new set of circumstances? Well, it still does, and we know that. So I think for you, this is very important eclipse season, I guess. I mean, for everyone, but for you in particular. This eclipse shakes the idea that your worth is something you have to prove. Sometimes life can be unfair, and those freeloaders can have it all while you are here performing and there's no dividends coming your way. That's like a bitter taste for that. So here this eclipse is saying you don't have to prove your worth. You are worthy and you are enough, and you are the face of the new status quo. You are the liberator of the mind, and the first thing you have to liberate is yourself and your mind, dissolving outmoded self-worth anchors that were playing big role in that history of yours. Now you're writing a new script and you're creating a new set of rules, not just for yourself, but also for those parties involved, and somehow subconsciously for the collective unconscious. Poverty mindset, guilt about receiving, all these old money dramas are kindly exiting your life because you are creating space for new sense of self-worth, for new agreements and new contracts that actually matter now and will matter in the future. They do not matter for that past version of you anymore. You are strengthening your material independence and playing by a new set of rules within your own influence, which is great. You are building something that is truly sustainable for personally you in the long term. You stop leaking your energy to contracts, people that make you feel small. It's time to be the boss babe of your life. And it all becomes very soul-led, that sense of status that you are emerging into is built on the ashes of dissolved status, comfort, security. Now it becomes not even materialistic. It becomes like, this is my soul, and that's what I prioritize, and this is how I build it. Now, body wisdom is activated. You are asked to trust your senses, your body, your intuition, and your no. If you say no, you say it with conviction, and it is a symbol of grace towards yourself. If you resist these energies, there are some cons you have to be aware of, and one of them is financial wobbles. Let's say you define your worth by the dollar sign. Well, you are here for the rude awakening. Are you going to sell out, or are you going to stay poor with your soul intact? Or maybe there is a sweet spot where you both have the dosh and you have your soul integrity intact. So find that place and be brave about it, because that place does exist. We live in an abundant world that has been hijacked by the greedy of this. I don't want to spill the beans too much, but greed. Do you have that? Do you experience greed, results of greed? Where do you stand in all of this, in this hierarchy, in this matrix? Big questions, and I feel like you don't really need to overdo it here. Just establish a long-term, value-driven legacy that sustains you. And do not define yourself by the false symbols of status. In all these big questions, there can be an identity crisis. So where do you stand in this whole equation? Is your self-worth tied to what you own, or what you earn, or what you have, or what you had, or what you just about to get? Many things are still floating in the air, and it might feel uncomfortable. I would say sit with it and try to find the sense of lack and look at it organically, logically, and holistically, and pat yourself on the shoulder where you really truly deserve it. And that's what's gonna drive you forward and inspire you. You're here to transform yourself, be inspiration for others to transform themselves. So I believe in you, Aquarius. And if you sweep some things around self-worth and intimacy under the rug, it can come back and burst out and be like, look at me, I'm still unresolved. What are you going to do about it? While you're pondering in all these big questions about your self-worth and your status and what is going on there, I would suggest you do not neglect your needs, your emotional needs. If there is a urge for intimacy, find the person you trust and go for it. Thank you so much for watching, and I truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And yeah, don't forget to share your experience in the comments. Having Pluto in your sign while everything is happening all around it. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you, Aquarius. Pisces, we have lunar eclipse in your sign. And the moon is in the first house with the sun in Virgo in your seventh house. Let's unpack this fantastic lunar eclipse for you. Crazy times, crazy measures. You are in for a massive personal reset. I am not joking. This is huge. You're shedding your identities, appearance, work ethic. I hope you're not shedding that too much. But still, the stories that you were telling yourself about yourself, do they fit in the vision of this new beginning, the new cycle? Maybe there is this still one part of yourself that you love so much and you cling on to it, but now the moon that is eclipsed, the full moon in Pisces in your first house, is asking, we came full circle, baby. Time to step down from the bus and look around the village where you now belong. Question is, what is the stop, and what route did you take, and where are you going next? This is an opportunity for you to get messy, to play in the paint, to throw the paintbrush away and paint with your hands, maybe even with your other parts of your body, You are here emotionally honest and unhinged. I like it because it's freedom. It's a new version of you, and like even you are like not aware of all its colors, but then you find new colors by mixing them together in accidental ways. And it's like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon and then flying with its wings, flapping them around beyond any laws of physics, making this just beautiful slow motion where it's just showing us that, you know, the best things in life, they are in between the lines, in between the sentences, in between forms, and you are shape-shifting into the new form again. And this is just like a beginning. Even though it feels like the end, it is the beginning. And you will be kind of going back and forth a little bit with that. And close your eyes and dance in the dark. With the sun in the 7th house, there is a sense of a relationship recalibration where you are looking at the person with very sober eyes, and you see things that they have improved upon, and then also things that they still need some work to do, right? And the other person is talking to you about themselves, and you're kindly listening, and then you see, are they projecting anything on me? And if yes, what it is doing to your sense of identity, is it true? Because projection, is it really true? Is it not? It's like a holographic kaleidoscope of your emerging, of your becoming. And the relationships are playing a huge part in this eclipse series for you. So be diligent and ask the right questions. You becoming very magnetic and you reinvent yourself. People feel it. With all the shape-shifting you have undergone, maybe now you're stopping to do that and becoming still and dissolving this whole to transform. You don't force the transformation. You let it happen to you. People notice, people feel it, and that affects your home, that affects your career, and of course relationships. And of course it affects you, darling. All right, now if you resist all these energies, there are some cons I want you to be aware of, like ego panicking in this process, causing you to question yourself and gaslight yourself. Identity crisis can happen, but I mean, even if it does happen, remember, ego is here to serve, not to overpower. Those who have allowed the overpowerment of ego are closer to pathology than to normalness, right? So let this identity transformation be graceful process without too much of punishment on yourself, inflicting like, oh, my ego is bruised, now I'm gonna act out, or I want to soothe and escape. Just like take a chill pill and do more Virgorian style, where it is a matter of fact. What are the facts? What are the pros and cons? Like I'm doing with these videos. Pros and cons. And then you can just see the full spectrum. And once you see the full spectrum, not just the good, right? Also the crap. And then you're not afraid of either way. You become kind of like a balanced sovereign being that is happy to choose their own path. So you are choosing your path rather than allowing all this metamorphosis to overtake and you forget who you are. Don't do that. If you have been hiding your truth to keep peace with your loved ones, there can be some friction, because now it's like, well, I didn't expect you to say that, or I didn't expect you to do that, or it's not the Pisces that I remember, and you're like, well, deal with it, or something along these lines. So just like, like cover For other signs, I said don't sugarcoat it. For you, I would just say, because it is in your first house, this eclipse, a little bit of sugar is okay. Honey or maple syrup. Make them pancakes when you talk about serious things, and like make sure they have a little bit of pancakes already in their system, and then you drop the drop the truth or something like that. On the other hand, people pleasing, again, I just keep on saying that. Do not fall into the trap of being too much, too sugary for others, so that you make sure they can handle all the metamorphosis you're going through. Everything in moderation, and that will be just fine for everyone. Take care of your physical vessel, take care of your light body, because you will be a bit more sensitive. Make sure you protect your face. Do not, burn your face in the sun. Be careful with the things you do, like cosmetically, during this period, for these 2 weeks from the 7th, 8th of September. Just do not do anything crazy with your face. The first house is the face, and any beauty procedures, just maybe wait for a bit later. And your body will be your tuning fork. Take long, beautiful walks in the nature. You can't go wrong with that. A lot of oxygen in your cells, and listen to beautiful music. Just everything just to kind of soothe the energy and compound it to the point where you can manage it. So become the manager, the Virgo manager of your life, and play with that energy freely. Yeah, it's not about constricting yourself, because it's a Pisces, a lunar eclipse. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for watching. You're such a darling. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It means the whole world to me. I love you so much, and I'll see you next video. Bye bye.